Hello everyone and welcome back to day 2 of the UK National Championship 2016. My name is Matthew Bell and joining me here on commentary this weekend, Luke Withington. Luke.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Before we get into round 9, we actually had some information we figured you guys might be interested in. We have the top 64 decks at the start of day 2, so we can, obviously this doesn't factor in the results of last round, but we'll be able to sort of get an idea of what the top tables were playing at the end of the first day. So we'll just bring that up for you now. And what you can see is there were lots of Monarch mirror matches, and followed by Cosmo, Drago Pals, Klee, and Burning Abyss.
Yeah, so if we compare this to the full deck breakdown in the comparison that we have, we're not got that on screen, but we can just talk a little bit about it. You can see that it's kind of as we expect due to just the numbers that we have from the full deck breakdown, Monarch being all the way up at the top there. Followed by Cosmo. Actually, okay, so there we do have it. So this is the full deck breakdown for the entire tournament. And then if we, just take that in, you can see Monarch at the top, Cosmo, Dracopals, BA, that kind of order. And then we switch back to the start of this day, top 64. You can see that it's kind of the same order.
Yeah, the real interesting thing here is the other decks. This is the decks that are not considered the mainstream ones that are still in the top 64 slots. There are 9 of them.
Yeah, so that could be anything from the Cypher Imps that we saw to the anti-meta.
Yeah, from Merlin Schumacher to any of these other crazy decks. It's an interesting thing to see, and we'll see how this shapes up to be our top 32. I mean, what are your expectations looking at this breakdown and where we'll end up?
I think it's going to be mainly Monarchs in the top cut here, but you can see that as far as relativity is concerned, it's kind of the numbers have shrunk in such a way where you have a full 132 Monarch decks and only 26 of those left, and relative to the Klee numbers, there's a whole 7 of those 28 original Klee decks left.
Yeah.
When we see this at a YCS, it's usually the scale of it is you can really see a bigger chunk of the bigger decks is gone, whereas these smaller decks like Klee have lasted much longer because they're really made to play against these big chunks.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why it's difficult to calculate success percentages, especially actually on the R&D side. You have to consider there were a lot less Klee decks, but in terms of a percentage drop, there's still a significant number of them still in competition compared to the sharper drop of Monarch, which is being represented by sheer popularity.
Yeah.
It's an interesting set of stats. That actually isn't all too far from some of the results we've seen from the other national championships, actually. A lot of the results that I have already seen come back, we've already look a lot like this.
Yeah, so just running some quick numbers. 20% of the Monarch decks in the top 64 here, and 25% of the Klee decks are. It's only 5%, but that's a reasonable chunk.
Yeah, well... Yeah, we're looking at smaller representation, but the Klee deck obviously has some bite to it, and the players seem prepared.
Yeah.
Right, shall we get ready with round 9? We can walk you through the beginning of the matchup. We have Jared Stone versus Ryan.
Stolarski. Yeah, so we were joking earlier about Satellanite demise.
Here it is. It's in the top tables,
and it's just a bit weird because you summon your Deneb, and then you play Card of Demise, and then you discard the card you just got from Deneb. I even joked about playing double summon.
And that's in there here, right?
No, he's not playing double summon. That would have been even more weird.
This is just crazy because you can't hold on to the Altair, so I'm really interested to see how this is working. He's playing 3 Call the Haunted, 2 Oasis of Dragon Souls. And he's only playing 10 monsters, so it does fit into the Demise game plan of his minimum number of monsters.
Maybe he just really hopes that his opponent's playing Light Force Sword and, gets his Altair out of his hand. I think that would be quite useful for him.
It could happen, but it's so weird when you think about it, because things like Vega is not going to be very good, Altair is not going to be very good when you've got Card of Demise. Yeah. And he's got 3 Card of Demise, 2 Pot of Duality as well to overlap the drawbacks.
It seems really strange.
As much as I feel like I'm confused by this, he is obviously seeing success. He's X1 now?
Yeah, this is X1.
This is an X1 table at round 9 even. So he's just basically a stone throw away from the top 64.
Yeah, speaking of stones, Jared is the pioneer of the Ultimaya Tzolk'in Monarch deck, and he's playing that today. I think the only change is that he switched his Jack's Knight out for a Dark Witch. Now I saw this on social media that they were searching for these. Dark Witch is a card from, I think it was like Metal Raiders or something.
Is it Metal Raiders or started deck Yugi? It's the normal ones with the blue hair, right?
Yeah, it's a level 5. You could use Ocubeam as well. That's the other option. But the idea is if your opponent's playing Rivalry of the Warlords, you can still do your combo and summon a Tyrus.
Which can then deal with the
rivalry. It's a really kind of niche play, but there's no reason not to play that.
Yeah, it's just like there's there's tiny interactions that make the difference. But we'll see how it goes because there is a main deck Rivalry Warlords in Ryan's deck. Yeah. And speaking of which, let's head to the table and see how this match plays out. So we got Jared on the right here and Ryan on the left. I don't know who's taking the first turn. We'll see very shortly.
Again, we have two players with the exact same coloured sleeves.
Do you ever find yourself, since you've been playing this for so long, that you can actually just pick an opening hand off the top of the deck? It just comes naturally. You don't even have
like
to worry
the 5.
about it.
Yeah,
you shuffle the deck.
I do that. Pick 5 cards and then just like lay them across.
You
the
pick
table.
and you fan. You don't even count it. Just because
happens.
you've been doing it for so long, so many years, it just naturally happens.
Yeah. Okay, so the Tellarknight deck opens with Card of Demise, 2 monsters. You can't summon both of them. Tellarknight Alpha and Reinforcements of the Army.
Well, he could get... No, because Reinforcements just gives him another monster. If he gets Deneb, that gives him another monster. So he won't be playing the Demise for a few turns. He's just going to be doing some Tellarknight things. And we're going to be looking at Jared's deck, where he's starting with...
He drew
Twin
the Dark
Twister,
Witch.
Dark Witch, the Monarch Stormforth, Brilliant Fusion, and Karaz the Light Monarch. Brilliant Fusion gives him some openings here, though, for an otherwise suboptimal hand, right?
But he drew Dark Witch.
Oh, is that the only monster he can send with it?
He probably can send... He can send one of the other Light Monarchs, but it's really unoptimal.
Right.
Okay, here we go. So we see this Cards of Demise happen.
And he's going to just set the additional 2 cards, and he's going to ditch the Altair during the end phase.
This just feels strange.
It's just... but he has the back row, which is what the Tellarknight player wants to have. What Ryan wants to have the setup. It's just Chemical X being crammed into an already existing deck.
Yeah.
I don't know what Jared is drawn for the turn.
Yeah. Jared's in a bit of a tough spot here. So he's probably going to discard the Dark Witch, yeah.
You can see here he's just playing it truly random. He's not like looked at his opponent and using the micro expressions on his face to determine these are the important cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going random.
So
and we're going to see
Deflector anyway.
Deflector. Picking up a 2-for-1 there on the Deflector.
Yeah.
And
well, Dark Witch was completely dead in his hand.
It's a blank card, but more importantly, it stops quick play spells being played for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
So that also blanks the Monarch Stormforth in his opening hand.
Yeah.
Which means he can't do anything with the Kuraz.
Yeah. Also stops Brilliant Fusion. It's continuous.
Yeah, that's true. He could have changed the Monarch Stormforth, right?
Yeah, could have.
To the Deflector if he wanted to continue his plays, but he chose not to do that.
Yeah, why would he get Kuraz?
To draw more cards from his blanks, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so here we go. So there's no Card of Demise from Ryan here. So he's gonna start off by doing his special and summoning. Altair, get Deneb, get Altair. Wow, we're just seeing Tellarknights do the Tellarknight thing.
Yep, it's gone past the Demise point, and now it's just
yeah. So he really did just use Demise to craft that perfect scenario for him to be able to.
Also down half of the monsters in his deck. I think that's 6 monsters he's gone through so far, right? Because he discarded one of the Altairs.
Yeah. But he's got so many revival trap cards that he just doesn't need them.
Yeah, that means he's only got 4 monsters left in the deck. The rest is going to be drawing are really powerful disruption cards. So he's actually kind of relying on this field of monsters to really put the work in.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have any of his revival traps, so he's actually very vulnerable to a Regeki right now. But
yeah.
I imagine we'll see these overlaid into triple. Which one's the Tellarknight one, which returns all
Triver.
Triver, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to probably go into Triver here, and then take a card from his opponent's hand. So he also gets to shuffle up the back rows as well. Triver's effect.
Yeah, Jared's hand was already very weak, and now he's down another card. And it's Brilliant Fusion. Rough.
Yeah. One after another. I guess he still has some Stormforth, so...
Yeah. Actually, something that we didn't point out was Ryan was main decking Magic Deflector, which is something you don't normally see. It's usually a side deck card.
Yeah, and a one-off as well.
Yeah, it's a one-off and it just happened to be perfect right there. But then that's all it has to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one of the advantages to actually being Card of Demise is that if it's completely useless in your back rows 4, it can just be the one card you discard at the end of the turn.
Yeah. I think Jared's just not going to play anymore.
Really interesting. He revealed his hand to his opponent as he picks up his cards to say, "Yeah, I can't play." That's actually really interesting because you have the opportunity to give away.
Yeah, you give away loads of kind of information there.
Free information. He didn't have to volunteer. Like you normally see it at the end of a match, but not during. That must have been just frustration, or Ryan already knows what Jared is playing. Maybe they talked about it at the start, and so he's not got any secrets he's hiding.
Yeah. So let's delve into the side decks here. So for the Tellarknight player, he has a full 3 Mask of Restricts. That's probably going to be good against this matchup. A couple of Effect Veils as well. Couldn't be too bad to put in. But again, Effect Veil with Card of Demise is just...
Yeah, like it doesn't work. And Max C's as well. But I guess you side the Demise out when you're going to side these kinds of cards in.
Yeah,
but then like that's kind of feels like
core of the deck.
The whole core of the reason you're playing 19 of these trap cards is because of Card of Demise.
Yeah.
He has got Imperial Iron Wall, which is pretty good against Idea, Pantheism. I'm not sure if that's really going to see play because the Monarchs very easily answer that.
Yeah.
But there is some opportunity there.
It might be worth it because if he puts a full 6 trap cards in that are just big floodgate cards that just stop him from playing lots of different combos in his deck, then that might work.
Yeah, Ryan is removing Twin Twisters from his deck because he knows he's playing against the XE Monarch deck, so he doesn't have to worry so much about the main stopping him from playing. Yeah. Although that's really interesting because we were talking about it yesterday. Do you prepare for your opponent siding in the really big floodgates against your deck in game 2?
Jared's going to be playing in Decrees.
Yes, he's going to get hit by the overlap that Monarchs are playing against the Klee decks, which are already popular.
Yes.
But he's taken Twin Twisters, one of his answers, out for Royal Decree.
That seems strange.
Perhaps he's just not anticipating Jared to play Royal Decree on him.
No, that is possible. Jared's also playing Dark Samog as well.
I keep seeing this. He's got Daigusto Emerald. Sorry, I'm looking at Ryan's deck list here. What wind monster is he actually playing that he can... Start a Spark Dragon.
Is it wind?
Yeah,
I think
wind,
it is wind.
So wind. And the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is also a wind monster.
Yeah. I've got this weird feeling it's Gaia Dragon's Earth, isn't he?
The Exceed monster?
Yeah.
No, he's wind.
He's wind as
So
well.
that's another wind monster. Okay, so there is opportunity to...
I thought it was wind, but then I also thought it was Earth. Anyway.
Very good against the Demise decks because they can't actually play any of their cards.
Yeah. It's really good.
We haven't seen it this weekend. We have seen it sided a few times, though.
Yeah. So let's see where they go here. They're both taking quite a lot of time to side deck. Taking the full opportunity to really think about what they want to put in the decks.
Yeah, maybe that vendor was really on the next level that I was talking to yesterday when he was trying to sell me the Demise Statella deck.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we were talking about this, weren't we? Yes.
Yeah, we were.
We were jokingly saying, "Oh, well, what about Tellarknights with the Card of Demise?"
No, it just fundamentally goes against what you want the deck to do, and then here it is, right? Right, showing us wrong. What is the record for this one? These are X1 players, right? I think we said this.
Yes, yeah, X1 players.
Both X1, so both are still pretty comfortable for top 64 lock-ins, providing they win the next round at the very least. Okay, we're seeing them shuffle up. Do you think Jared will choose to start here? Against a heavy trap deck, surely.
Yeah, I think he probably will. To try and get at least some kind of setup. He could make his Tolkien.
Yeah, and then start a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon.
Yeah.
So good, that card. It's so awesome.
Yeah, and it's weird in one of those with Jared's build as well. You don't want to be drawing. There's some of the cards in your deck that you're playing you don't want to draw. I think I saw a normal monster again. I think you draw the Dark Witch again.
That would just be really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, it would. So we're gonna get their starting hands here. So Jared chose to go first. It's very strange. It's been going backwards and forwards ever since the rule changed. It's been going backwards and forwards.
Yeah, actually, there was never a disadvantage to not go first. Oh wow. Okay,
Ryan opens Rivalry and Mask of Restrict.
And double Mystical Space Between one Altair. His hand doesn't actually really go anywhere, but it does stop his opponent from doing stuff.
Double Kuraz. Double Kuraz, that's a Stygian Dirge. Tenacity of the Monarchs, Return of the Monarchs. Wow.
Actually, if he's gone first here, the Tenacity can get him Pantheism and he can actually start pushing out.
Well, he can draw some more cards, but he needs to. He's got double Kuraz.
Yeah, that's
awful.
Horrible.
Because
he's losing the ability to use
full two.
Ether as a desperate interrupt or a cycling more cards. But he's at the very least got the Pantheism on the go, so he's going to see 3 new cards off of this. None of these cards are actually answers to Mask of Restrict or any way to threaten Mask of Restrict at the moment. Well,
all Rivalry.
Yeah, because the Kuraz obviously can't be played, and he's got 2 of the aforementioned floodgates to deal with.
Yeah. So let's see where Jared goes from here. We need to see what he drew off Pantheism.
He's throwing these cards down, so I don't know if he's just not happy with the way his opening hand is looking. That's really interesting because he's picked 2 Prime Monarch and revealed the other Pantheism. So if his opponent gives him the Prime Monarch, there is very, very little chance that the 3rd Pantheism is already in Jared's hand, which means the Prime Monarch's going to be stuck in his hand until he can maybe use Kuraz to get it off the field so he can start using it for tribute fodder.
Yeah. I looked at it though, he didn't draw anything from the Pantheism that's going to be any good.
No, I think based on the way he was flicking his cards...
Is that Card of Demise? Did I just see him... I think his 6th card was Card of Demise. That would be amazing for Ryan.
Yeah, well, he's got Mystical Space Food, which he doesn't want to use.
I kind of think he does.
But he's going to hit the Prime Monarch, but he doesn't know that, of course. If for things he's worried about his opponent playing, like Royal Decree, he can wait for his opponent to flip those cards up and guarantee the Mystical Space.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. You should wait. I'm just thinking he wants to make sure that this turn goes off without a hitch, and if it does, then he is so set up.
Well, the question is what is he really aiming to accomplish? The only reason he's going to play those Mystical Space Typhoons is to perhaps give him some space to play more of these Card of Demise options.
Yeah, so I've just had confirmation. He did play Card of Demise. Wow, that means he just
he drew it, right?
Yeah, he drew. Yeah, sorry, he drew Card of Demise. I'm getting too excited. He's going to be able to just set all of his cards, play Card of Demise.
He might end up playing one of the Mystical Space Typhoons, so if he does decide to go for Demise this turn. Because if he sets the Mystical Space Typhoon, he's not going to be able to use it later this turn.
I think he's probably going to play one.
Play one, so then he's got the option to set 2 of the cards. Yeah. And then by the odds of deck building, he will probably draw 1 monster, or at least 1 card he doesn't
Okay, he chooses the one on the left.
Twin Twister. Okay,
he Twin Twisted the Mystical Space Typhoon.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You see how heavily Jared just breathed then, so much so.
Yeah.
We've got
two traps and a duality.
Yep.
He can play duality, yeah. Might as well.
He didn't actually hit a monster there, which I would have thought he would have.
Yeah. Well, he's playing very little monsters.
Yeah, there was 9 more left in the deck. Take the Mask Restrict, surely. Well, he doesn't need it. He's already
got one, and he's got Rivalry. I think he just needs to.
Oh yeah, he doesn't need any more. He doesn't need any more Flickers, so he can.
I think he takes Warning. I would take Warning.
He's going to go for Upstart. If he takes Upstart, he's looking for monsters. If he takes Warning, he's pretty much locking his opponent out.
He can't play any more monsters.
Yeah, not this turn. Oh, of course, and Demise is going to make him discard it, so it makes absolutely no sense to take the
Upstart. Yeah, no point taking Upstart. Why is he going to take Upstart? Unless he can play one of the other cards that he's already got set.
He's just
or he can discard Upstart.
Yeah, he's. Well, you could just play the upstart here, but considering he already has 2 cards to set, I don't know if that's really wise.
Okay, I've just been told he got a Fiendish Chain as well, so that can stop. The reason I would have took warning was because I want to stop Altair being destroyed here. He's key to my winning.
To be honest, I don't think Jared has any way of doing it. I mean, he can get the Prime Monarch back, but then Master Restrict is going to get flipped up immediately, and Rivalry. He's going to discard the Fiendish Chain.
I think that's a decent move actually, because he needs to upstart next turn to be able to draw into more stuff.
Yeah, he's going to use that to fish for one of these 9 remaining monsters, or reinforcements of the army.
Yeah.
Or even another card of Demise.
Yeah. So there's Massive Restrict.
Jared, we currently know, has no out to this. But he has
He's gonna
got
look
a Pantheism. Oh,
It's Frost Blast.
Frost Blast.
Um,
Only deals with set cards.
I think
Frost
it is
Blast,
set cards. Yeah, it's both set cards.
That is unfortunate. Okay, we're going to see Pantheism being banished from the graveyard. Ryan quickly flicks his back row and says that's fine.
I think I'd probably just use Frost Blast anyway, just to try and reduce the number of back row my opponent has.
Yeah. Oh, he's got to be careful, because if he does use that Frost Blast, he won't be able to get the Prime Monarch back for protecting himself.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what he decides to go with here. I'd give him Stormforth here.
Yeah, as long as you've got Master Restrict, you don't really care. And Ryan also has the additional Rivalry of Warlords to make sure his opponent's not really doing anything with that Stormforth.
Yeah, if Ryan can hold off on that Rivalry of the Warlords, get into just some big rank 4, when I mean just decent amount of attack points, then just flip up all these floodgates. It will be...
Well, he could just simply, if he really wanted to, go Castel and shuffle away the Prime Monarch, right? Which puts Jared in a position where he has no way of bringing a monster back.
Yeah, that's true. It could take that risk.
Is that kind of subpar, though?
I'm just trying to think of... In this situation, I'm thinking I need to get a monster on the field that's just bigger than any monster that he could possibly work with.
Yeah, I think he just drew another Master Restrict, so he's going to draw a card for Upstart Goblin.
Yeah.
It's another trap card. Yeah, Ryan's probably going to be walled out this turn. Oh, maybe he did get a monster. He did touch the altar. Yeah, he passes. Draw and pass. It's like facing down an Aquamador with your 7-coloured fish all those years ago.
Yeah, that would be a problem. They are just drawing and passing at this point. So we've, backwards and forwards a couple of times there.
Okay, we're going to see an Edea. Rivalry of Warlords is going to stop Edea actually going anywhere.
It's going to still be able to activate.
Yeah, but he won't be able to summon the... Oh wait, because the Prime Monarch is Edea not a fairy? It's a warrior, isn't it? Because you can reinforce them. So he has to choose one of the two to...
Eidos will still be summoned, but then it will go to the graveyard.
Yeah. And he won't be able to... Oh, if he's chaining to the activation, yeah. Alright, we're going to see Pantheism discard the Stormforth, and Jared is going to go for 2 more. In actual fact, a Twin Twister at this point would be very, very strong for him, because he now knows exactly where 2 of these continuous traps are. really considering what he's doing here. Pacifism.
I think that the way that chain was done was not quite
correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you care to elaborate?
So, Rivalry of the Warlords, I don't think it ever prevents a summon if it's on chain. So, Rivalry of the Warlords got changed to Edia. Edia will still resolve, but then the monster summoned from it will immediately be sent to the graveyard.
Right, which would actually be a benefit to Jared in this position, because it would be useful to him a little later. Actual fact, I believe this is Rivalry of Warlords and Ghost Match for the only cards we posted an FAQ for in the recent years, because they were so complicated on how they actually work.
Yeah, so I was just double checking there. Because I'm pretty sure back when, I think this was before the FAQ came out, when it was Ghost Match versus multiple Dragon Rulers, you would be able to have a Dragon Ruler face up on the field and then try to summon another Dragon Ruler from your hand. And it would, if you chained Rivalry of the Warlords, it would be summoned but then immediately sent to the graveyard.
Right, yeah.
So it's a similar situation here.
It doesn't just stay in their hand, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So in the same situation as Edia doesn't just resolve without effect, its effect would resolve, but then Rivalry gets applied to the field.
Okay, he's still also just banished Pantheism, and we're seeing Jared getting up. Okay, they're probably just having a bit of a lengthy judge call here.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, yeah. Jared's just gone to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll come back to us for a second, so you can look at us while we're waiting. Jarvis.
Thanks, Jarvis.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes nature calls, I guess. So yeah, we're seeing the Demise Tellarknight deck actually really going off in this game.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Which is not something I would have expected with the whole drawback of, hey, you've just discarded your whole hand, but it turns out that it doesn't matter if your next turn is like, hey, I just have more and more cards.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting in how this is working. And I'm really trying to digest here what is going on with this deck, and it seems like he's not too bothered about discarding the monsters that he searches off Deneb. If anything, he's kind of treating Deneb like Unukalai, when it's, people still play the full 3 copies of that because you play so many Call of the Haunted, Oasis of Dragon Souls, just to get them back from the graveyard. So even if you do discard them, you've still got all those big trap cards to be able to revive them and use their effect that way.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how he's treating it, which seems really strange. Yeah, but it makes sense.
Do you ever worry that playing like 19 traps, you're going to see those games where you just draw like all your Calls of the Haunted and Oasis right before you've even set up?
Yeah, I think so.
But if he's doing so well at the moment, it's unlikely that he's seeing consistency issues with this deck. I guess maybe the pot dualities are really fixing this so well, and if you draw multiple traps, you can then just set them and then use Guard of the Mice to try and fix your hands. Yeah. I just saw Jared actually making his way back to the feature match area.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for the judges to confer here on this ruling.
Yeah, is that what they're currently working on?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of this Ultimaya Tolzin kin thing yet. Well, partially this is due to the fact that he's just not able to play Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment.
No, he's been quite restricted by Ryan's Floodgate cards.
Master Restrict specifically.
Yeah, well, Master Restrict and now Rivalry of the Warlords. That's not going to be able to help with the summoning of Ultimaya because it's got a strange attribute in comparison with the rest of the monarchs. I think it's fire or something.
I don't remember.
I'll be able
it looks like it's on fire. You'd be surprised how often you can make mistakes when you're looking at a huge number of cards and you actually go,
well, it's on fire, it's probably fire.
It's like, I always kept mixing up Summoner Monk and thinking it was a light monster because it looks like a light monster.
Yeah, it's got a white robe on.
Yeah,
it's got a robe on, I can't remember.
Of course it's dark, which makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, big difference.
But it's just funny how sometimes the art can catch you out.
Tolkien is actually dark.
See? It wasn't a fire. You thought it was fire just simply because it looked like it was on fire.
I think it should be fire. We should change that.
What? That's not how this works.
But it's on fire. That's how that works. Totally how that works. Yeah. So think Jared's just really restricted now by Ryan's floodgates here.
So you'd actually put the match most likely going in favour of Ryan at the moment. He's 1-0 up at the moment, and it's very likely he's going to be able to take the second game down unless Jared can draw one of his. How many copies of Twin Twisters is he playing? 2.
2 copies.
He's definitely played 1.
Yeah, oops.
Well, if we've got a second, is there any questions in the chat that we can quickly answer?
I think a lot of people are just talking about there's someone talking about Demise Cosmo, and people talking about card Demise really.
Fondly or otherwise?
Varying.
Varying levels of extreme.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we'll just wait for the situation. Go ahead, if you're in the chat right now, you can feel free to shoot us a question. We are clearly stalling for time here, but there's only so much we can say. How many rounds you're being asked?
Many rounds.
Yeah, how many rounds?
There's one more round of Swiss.
Many rounds, that's not the answer.
There's one more round of Swiss, and then we're doing the top 64.
Yeah, that's when we get to a single elimination and start removing stuff.
Let's get back to the game.
Okay, it looks like we're going back to the table and we're carrying on. Saved by the bell. My technical director was starting to poke me back, asking about Dynamist. What's up with that? And just going from there.
Okay, so we just see a resolve for that effect. The idea, that is. Okay, still, I think that Jared's in a tough spot.
Yeah, I don't really know.
He's going to struggle to make a recovery here. I think, especially when you have such a complex ruling question there, that sometimes does take a toll on the players.
In actual fact, this is something I actually struggle with even in the office. If I'm playing under tournament conditions, and one of my colleagues, for example, comes and picks up one of my back row cards just to look at it, it can actually throw me off because then I have to rethink what I'm doing.
Yeah,
because
you get into that mental state, don't you, where you just know what all your cards are, you know exactly where you're going, you got this kind of game plan of where you're going to go, and you just suddenly...
like the interruption suddenly then resets you in your line of thought, which is something to maybe at your local store to not do if you're just watching your friend in a very tense game. Absolutely do not do that under tournament conditions. Mystical Space has been changed to Frostblast. I did see a question about the best Demise deck. So far, I really like that Counter Fairy Demise deck that we saw from Will Lucas playing earlier.
Yeah, that was actually really cool.
That's a really great way of using it. I haven't seen the Clee deck actually in action yet.
No, we've not seen those at all. So he's gonna obviously the Prime Monarch is a fairy, so Seraph Knight is also a fairy.
Oh, it is?
Did I just make that up? Are they not fairies?
Well, it might be. He's certainly hovering it.
Well, he's played Brilliant Fusion. He's sent his Brilliant Fusion.
Prime Monarch is a fairy.
It is a fairy. So yeah, that's actually going to give him something to attack over the... Oh, there we go. Here's Tiras. Yeah.
Hey, it's exactly that play you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, yeah. So that managed to solve his issue, and Tiras is going to be able to start sniping his opponent's cards.
He's still going to have to wait till the end phase to get anywhere, but Ryan, playing so many trap cards, will have to draw into some monsters to actually get anywhere.
Yeah, so he's just going to have board control now of this Tiras. And it's all going to come down to if Ryan has something to get rid of that.
Okay, we're going to see the Prime Monarch coming back.
Yeah, so he's still able to keep that going, and if he manages to get another Prime Monarch in the graveyard, he's still going to be able to continue just summoning those over and over again and potentially make another next seed play. I wonder if he's got another monster that can be used. I don't think he does, but still he's going to be able to attack with those Prime Monarchs.
Yeah, Prime Monarch goes to attack mode. That's 36 over 2 turns. That is a lethal clock.
Yep. But he is worried. He must be worried about some kind of Mirror Force.
Oh, he's worried about drowning Mirror Force, which he. It's almost whenever your opponent's playing Demise, it's something to 100% consider.
But he's not playing any Mirror Forces.
No, he's not. But he doesn't.
His
Jared
opponent
doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He only gets in for 1,000. So in actual fact, Ryan at this rate has an 8-turn clock. If the game state never changed, when I say this expression, it basically means how many turns it will take you to win with what you currently have in play, and it can dictate what your opponent isn't able to do. So sometimes you look at the difference of putting 4,000 attack on the field when your opponent only has 5,000 life points is not all the different from putting, say, just 2,500 and not risking against heavier trap cards, because you still need 2 turns to win anyway. Just one overextends you a little bit. Although Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a little bit different in the sense because we have a lot of cards like Solemn Strike and stuff to take into consideration.
Yeah.
With this, but it's always something to keep in mind to figure out how many turns it will take with just what you have in play to win the game.
So here's an Altair. You must have some kind of revival card here to be able to bring a monster back, because he definitely doesn't have I don't think he has a target. Okay, so he's just going to take out the Prime Monarch there.
Yeah, because that Prime Monarch does come with a cost, which over the course of the game can actually become relevant when you do run out of cards in the late game. But considering all the Tellarknights are significantly lower attack than the 2,400 defense, Ryan is going to have to wait till he gets another one.
Yeah, I think he has to make an XC play now.
Yeah.
At some point, to be able to proceed in the game.
Yeah, Drowning Mirror Force can only be used against a direct attack, which is why there is no problem just switching the turret straight back to attack mode and attacking into there. Alright, we're going to see DNAP. DNAP getting the search, probably for Altair, as we say famously. No, he's looking at Unikal High. Interesting. What do you think he's telegraphing to his opponent there by taking the Unikal High?
I don't think he's particularly...
Instead of an Altair?
Well, unless he already has the Altair, I guess there's no real reason to take an Unikal High.
Yeah, he's got Oasis of Dragon Souls in his hand.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, so that, yeah. So I think it's really saying I have a way to get around your Tiras now.
Okay. Erebus going to the graveyard. Ryan's going to use Call of the Haunted.
Yeah. So this is it here. He can actually make his plays now.
Yep, and he'll get his DNAP search. He's pretty well rooted in there. Although,
yeah, I think it was very much not, it wasn't any kind of special play that he needed to make here. He just had to get 2 monsters on the field to be able to make an Exceed monster.
Yeah, interestingly enough, though, he has jammed up his back row pretty hard, so he's relying. He's pretty much all in on these counter traps because he could still play Telenova Alpha, but if he makes an Exceed summon, he's going to leave the Call of Haunted in play. But this actually makes any further card demise and stuff very difficult.
That certainly stops that.
Oh yes, he's lowered the level of all of his opponent's monsters by 1, which does he even play a rank 3?
Nope.
Oh, this is exactly what happened to Rick Cherry in Madrid.
Well, set up camp, guys. We're going to be here a while.
Grab yourself a hot beverage and please enjoy. We're seeing the Demise deck actually getting floodgated back.
Yeah.
Stellar Knight's being overlapping with Burning Abyss, which is why Stygian Dirge is very, very good against two decks there.
I remember in my Tellarknight deck back in YCS Madrid, I actually played a few rank 3s, a couple of rank 3s, mainly wind-up Zen mains.
Yeah, so you can deal with the...
So you could deal with Stygian Dirge.
But then again, he wouldn't be able to use one-ups and mines anyway because of his own Rivalry of Warlords.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying in this situation. I was thinking that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If the situation was different, then this isn't a viable out.
Yeah. There is no rank 3 warrior monster that would deal with rivalry. Not that I can think of anyway.
What is Phantom Knights of Breaksword? He's a warrior, right?
He's a warrior.
Yeah.
He could play that. Well remembered.
But I don't foresee him wanting to destroy his own Rivalry of Warlords. When he could just simply wait for a.
Well, he'd just destroy Stygian Dirge.
Yeah, and then he could carry on playing as usual. Royal Decree. This is where we're going to see the turning point of this duel.
Here we go.
Ryan.
Things are happening.
This is the point where Ryan starts panicking. He will get access to his Xe summons again, providing he doesn't lose in the next turn. He is sitting only on 4,100 life points with only 2 monsters to defend him, and there are 2 monsters. What is the defensive dinner?
It's like 800 or something.
So the Prime Monarch can actually attack over that if he wants to. Oh, we're going to see Quick Draw Synchron.
Yeah. Up we go into the card.
I'm so excited to see it. Wait, does he do this? He's going to go,
there it is.
Now this is incredibly powerful. He says, "Do you want to read this?
You want to read this?
This
does some stuff which
you want to read this. This is going to affect you in the very, very immediate future.
Yeah.
He actually needs to set a card in order to get the special summon.
Yeah, he does.
And his back row is 5 there.
Is he? Okay.
There's Dark Simorg. And Dark Simorg comes down. There'll be no more face down cards.
But now he can't set cards.
Yeah. So he can actually trigger his Ultimaya. Because if you'd have been able to get that with Crystal Wing as well, you'd have been looking at, you can't set cards, I can negate your spell cards, or anything you do. Ultimate Tamaya... okay.
I think he's just going to start clearing up.
Yeah, he can just use Kiraz and then he can get the... he can just set a card and then get himself a free dragon.
But he can't, he still can't
because
set
there's Simorg. Yep.
Simorg will not allow him to set cards.
No, what's he doing? Oh wait, no, does Simorg say that only your opponent can't set cards? I think it's just his opponent who can't set, so he actually doesn't get this drawback at all. And he gets Stardust Spark to make sure that Royal Decree goes nowhere. Forgive me, it's been a while since we've seen Dark Simorg.
Yeah, so it is only your opponent. And then, straight into Stardust Spark Dragon.
Yeah, if you're Brian, you're picking your cards up next turn because... that's way more than lethal, and he's not going to be able to deal with any of this. And Alta Tamaya can get another dragon next turn.
Wow. That's really strong.
Okay. So he's going... okay, no, he can still pull up a Castell or a rank 4 play.
Yeah.
Actually, interestingly, if he gets the Decree off the field without destroying it, Rivalry of Warlords will kick back in.
Wow, that's a very good point.
And
yeah, if he just goes into Castell here, that'll clean up.
But here's the problem. Ultimaya is a dragon as well, right? So he can just keep his two dragons.
Yeah, he'll just keep the dragons, won't he?
And then Start of Spark protects itself. You can't actually do anything to the Ultimaya while you control another monster. Or is it another synchro monster or something?
Let me just bring that card up.
And then if he sets another card, he'll follow up with Crystal Wing or even Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend if he really wants to. It seems more likely he'll go for Crystal Wing. Oh, we're going to see...
Can't be targeted for attacks. No, it's the Ultimaya who can't be targeted for attacks or card effects while you control another synchro monster.
A synchro monster, yeah. Number 86, Rongon Miniad, with 2 materials. This is a card that has 5 different effects based on the number of materials you have.
Is that Rongo?
Yeah, that's number 86. Doubles its attack.
I don't know why he did that.
But I think because he loses if he gets rid of the decree, because I don't think he's in a better position. Okay, maybe he tried to trick his opponent into baiting the Start of Spark. But Jared can actually sit this one out because Rongon Miniad has a decaying effect over time, where it keeps losing material, so it becomes gradually weaker and weaker until you can deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have left on this round, actually, because that actually could be a factor to come into it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Ultimaya is going to then put another monster in. Bear with us, we just had a cleaner trying to come over and assist us.
Oh well. Yeah, she soon skipped past our streaming room.
So soon as she touched the door and it started making noise, you just see the whole room suddenly goes from watching the room to just waving their hands, like jazz hands, rapidly at her.
Yeah. I kind of motioned to like, can you just put it down outside?
And then she just walked because it looked like you were inviting her in.
All right, well, I certainly wasn't.
Okay, we're going to see Michael coming out, and yeah, Ryan is going to say that's enough. He's going home. But he's got one more game to play here.
There's 8 minutes left, by the way.
8 minutes left on the round. Yeah, this is he was out of this game. I completely agree with his option to concede there. Yeah, the question is knowing that Ryan is going first, how does he change his stuff? Do you consider the max Cs knowing your opponent's playing the Ultimaya build now? Because this is actually now kind of more of a well-known strategy.
I don't know. I still don't know what I feel about that and Card of Demise.
Yeah, it's just really
I think
weird.
Ryan's going to get to go first here, right?
Yeah, 100%. He's going to go first.
Then you wouldn't play Maxi. You wouldn't put Maxi in.
Right, because
you would only play it if you're going second.
Right.
So that you couldn't discard it.
On the turn 1, and then do your stuff.
Yeah.
I've got a question. Why Dark Witch from Airbomb 2124? The reason for that is very specifically for the Rivalry of Warlords situation. A lot of people are playing Jack's Knight to be an Earth for whatever reason, but you use the Dark Witch with Brilliant Fusion, and then you can actually use it to.
I think actually the reason that Jared played Jack's Knight originally is because that's just what he had.
Yeah. Oh, but Dark Witch was always the most optimal choice.
Yes. Yeah. Jack's Knight was never the best card. It was just because that's what Jared had at the time.
And everyone just copied that without questioning it.
I think so. I haven't asked him, but I'm sure that there's no particular reason why you would pick Jack's Knight. Maybe it's got the highest attack points.
Jack Knight has 1900, so it's free. It's a little bit higher than Dark Witch.
Yeah, but is it got the highest? It's got the highest attack points of a level 5 normal monster.
Huh. Is that? I don't think that's true.
I don't know if I'd like to think that isn't true. Let's have a look.
Unless it's Earth level 5 monster that he's looking at very specifically.
Well, why would you need Earth?
Don't you need it for part of the Brilliant Fusion?
Oh, right, okay. No. I don't know. Let's have a look.
The short answer is that Dark Witch is the optimal choice.
Yeah. And yeah, Jack's Knight's not Earth, it's Light.
We're seeing the opening hands loading in. Ryan's opening hand is Rivalry of Warlords, Statelanite Altair, Pot of Duality, Card of Demise, and Statelanite Unikalhai. So he's got 2 monsters in there. He's going to be able to set the D-Nub. Does he go for Card of Demise? Yeah, he does. He's quite happy to discard that monster. He draws Upstart Goblin. Probably just makes sense to set the Upstart Goblin here. Okay, no, he's just going to go ahead and use it. He draws a Pot of Duality. In fact, considering how small his monster count is, I guess that makes sense. Because you are going to lose your whole hand at the end of the turn. I suppose, depending on your other cards, whether or not you actually want to do that.
I'm just having a look here. So there are much better choices for level 5s. I'm trying to understand why. Well, Jack's Knight is Light. That's the reason that he used that.
Oh, it's Light, not Earth. Jared's opening hand, by the way, is Aether, Dark Simorgh, Idea, Brilliant Fusion, and Return of the Monarchs.
Yeah, so Jack's Knight is the strongest level 5 Light monster.
Right.
But he's not a fairy.
Yeah, which means rivalry is a factor.
Yeah, so the strongest Light level 5 monster is Jack's Knight, but it's not a fairy. And then Ocubeam is the other fairy.
Okay, so we're going to see a turn 1 Pantheism discarding Return of the Monarchs for some more cards, and that can be banished for a new card. I think Jared's hand is quite strong here, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we are going to see this Brilliant Fusion. There's a Dark Witch.
There's the combo.
And Mask Restrict is getting activated. That's pretty big here, right? The Mask Restrict, is it Seraph Knight? Seraph Knight, sorry. What was I thinking? Seraph Knight has been summoned. Free Tenacity, so we definitely get one of the Tenacities here. Tenacity.
Show him an
Ether. Ether not so useful right now with the Mask Restrict. We do see Frost Blast being added. He's discarding it to Brilliant Fusion to power up his Seraph Knight.
Seraph Knight, yeah. It's really interesting here that Ryan isn't playing any Mirrorforce cards, but I guess it doesn't really matter as soon as you manage to get one Exceed play in.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. He is playing Torrential Tribute though, which
so he used Frost Blast and sniped a Rivalry of the Warlords.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And he's going to attack over Unikalhai.
Yeah, I think so. Ryan's best draw here is Carapace or an Altar.
Yeah, he has Pot Duality down, so he's got technically any of his next 4 cards could have a Card of Demise.
Yeah.
I thought
just then Altar would get restricted. Yeah, that must be the possibility. Yep. Let's see what he reveals here.
There is Demise. Yep, he decides more cards are better than specific card.
Also, we've just seen that Jared's just realised that he forgot to activate Lasuli's effect when he played Brilliant Fusion, so the Dark Witch stays in the graveyard.
Oh, that is a misplay.
Tough break, yeah.
I think it's because he got caught by the restrict that he forgot to do it because he was intending to add it back and then tribute this guy for the Dark Witch.
Just disrupted his thoughts there. I think Ryan's just kind of stuck there. He's got two. It looks like it's two trap cards and a Dennet, but I don't know what the 2 trap cards are. It's Solemn Strike. I thought it was Solemn Strike as well, but I couldn't see.
Yeah, he's got 2.
Oh yeah, there we go. So he did draw both Solemn Strikes.
All right for some.
Yeah. Just he's oh no, he does. Yeah, it seemed like he'd put all the 3s at the top, so I was like, oh, where's the 3 Solemn Strikes?
Actually, a very neat deck list. This one's quite prepared. It's not just like scribbled out different card name, scribble out different card name.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm a bad one for deck lists. I've not got really good handwriting.
Interesting. He decides to actually discard the Solemn Strike instead of setting it into the open zone because he doesn't want to lock himself out of the game.
Yeah.
So he has the opportunity to draw more cards of Demise or reinforcements of the army, which we know is still in the deck. Idea being flip summoned. Idea the Heavenly Squire. Brilliant Fusion's effect, discarding. I think the game plan here is to just try and beat his opponent over.
Yeah, with the Seraph Knight.
It sometimes just ends up being your only viable game plan versus a deck that's playing the perfect floodgates against you. It's just, can I make a guy bigger than you? Yes, then I can win. Alright, we're going to see an attack from Idia. Idia is attacking Dinub, because Dinub, once Idia goes to the graveyard, yeah, that's what it looks like. So when Idia goes to the graveyard, he'll get to add a banished spell trap back to his hand.
Oh, he is. That's what he's going to probably get Frost Blast back. He's going to strike it. I should probably ask for his target first.
He probably did. We actually have no
we've got no
vocals, no audio. Oh, and time has been called on the round. So at the end of this turn, play will go into end of match procedure.
Yeah, so even more now, he's thinking to himself, should I really have played that strike?
Yeah, well,
that could be the deciding factor.
Yeah, it very well could be, but he still has plenty of time to actually get this out because Jared can't play. We already know there's one blank in Jared's hand in the Ether. He is going to strike it. He's going to lose his monster to the Seraph Knight's attack.
Yeah, I think that would have been really bad for Ryan if Jared had been able to get Frost Blast back and just start Frost Blasting through those other back rows.
Yeah, because Master Restrict is very vulnerable.
Yeah, well, it's all about...
reinforcement
straight off the top.
And interestingly enough, that card got shuffled away by Pot of Duality, and he still hits it straight off the top. Altair,
Deneb, Altair. He's
in
on
business.
a roll now. He is in business.
He's setting up shop, and he's here. He's here for this one.
Wow, that's pretty special. I just wonder what he's going to go into.
Oh, Stygian Dirge being... sorry, is that Stygian Dirge?
Yes.
So he can't Exy summon.
Again.
But his opponent's monster is sitting at, 0 attack, or is Brilliant Fusion till the end of your opponent's turn?
I think it's till the end of your opponent's turn.
Okay.
I'm not too sure about that now.
We're going to see Quick Draw Synchron being summoned by Jared.
It's until the end of your opponent's turn.
Oh, okay, and Rivalry of Warlords being played.
Still, Jared's having to give up one spell card a turn to keep this Seraph Knight strong enough to be on the board.
He could just attack into his opponent's card if he doesn't mind trading his life points, and he's got Dark Samorg in his hand. But then doing that in main phase 2 because just kind of... Well, his opponent doesn't have any Exy monsters that he could play to deal with the Dark Samorg because of the Stygian Dirge, but...
Yeah.
There is 3 Mystical Space Typhoons listed on Ryan's deck.
So Jared just attacked into Altair there.
Yeah, he trades 1700 to rid himself of the temporarily rid himself of the Rivalry of Warlords restriction.
He's going to summon the Samog.
Yeah.
Huge attack points. Yeah, I think Ryan's limited as to what he can do now. The thing is, Jared's already has his battle phase this turn, so...
Yeah, he can't actually do any of these Exy plays. Jared gets one more turn, right?
We are doing 1 to 6, yes, so we've got 4, 5, 6, yes, so Jared gets one more turn. Ryan gets the last turn of attacking.
Right, 4 to 6? 4 to 6?
So 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Because we've been through a few turns already, obviously.
Yeah.
I think he's walling up. We've been talking about this.
But no, he's walling up in a losing position.
Oh yeah, he's on lower life points. I guess he's just got to wait. He can't even set monsters because of Dark Samog. Ooh. I think Jared's actually happy in this situation. He can just sit back and...
Oh, he's gonna attack.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
He just passes. Ryan has to do something this turn, and he scoops.
Game over. Wow.
Oh, you see how happy Jared is. Stygian Dirge, it turns out the Demise deck, even with all the floods in the world, loses to just one flood back.
Yeah, wow.
When it both crippling both of these players' plays.
Yeah.
So that was a really interesting match to see. We see the Demise Tellarknight, which is something we never expected, actually putting up a pretty strong fight.
Yeah.
We did end up going to time, and things worked out for Jared and his Ultimaya, Tolzinkin. Which we did actually see going off, and all of the dragons being summoned off of that, which was incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right, then, that's all we have time for this round. We'll be back very, very soon with